Hi, Mom.
Oh, you missed the best 5 minutes of the show right there.
Yes, Mom, they are. And my values are the exact same.
I don't think mine are. Because I feel like you can sit in a room somewhere and learn a bunch of information, but there's only so much stuff that someone could say during, you know, one of those breakout sessions or something when you're at like a lunch and learn or you're at.
Of course, our good friends at Steph's Bookkeeping, great ribbon.
Getting distracted and just tell your story.
And we sent them flying.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, do not adjust your phone or your laptop or
it's whatever device
whatever device you're on. Welcome in to the final In the Know with Steph and Joe. So here's to you, Steph, the longest running show at 216 Creator Studios, and this comes to an end today.
Kinda though. I mean, well, Joe's still gonna be on a show, and then
if we really count it out,
you know,
you brought me into your show.
That's right.
Right.
Then we spun off into this show.
And then now we're gonna do another spin off
into another show.
So it's still kind of gonna be
count it.
It's like Frasier.
I would think more Big Bang.
Big Bang. Yeah.
If you're really counting something more times.
Yeah.
I was like so excited to be the guest today. And then when you text me that Rob was not going to make it to the show today, I was like, oh man. I was like, now I got to host. I'm like, so now I got to be a whole different energy coming in and talking.
Different. You think that, but I got you.
Here's the deal. Uncle Pete is right below Joe's nipples there. And if you click that link, you can come in and be part of the show.
I feel like everybody should click the link and say how much they're going to miss me.
I think so.
I agree with that. I think even if the show isn't live right now, just click the link and go in there and say how much you love Steph, even if it's not live.
That's
okay.
Right. 3 years from now, do the same thing.
So,
speaking of Uncle Pete,
my mom says hi. So
hi, Mom.
It didn't pop up on here, but it popped up on my phone.
Is she on YouTube?
I don't know. Derek says hi too, but it's not popping up. Hi, Derek.
Yeah, let's try something.
Hi, Derek.
I'm logged in through the In the Know with Steph and Joe Facebook page, so I don't know if that matters.
Here's the deal. When it comes to Uncle Pete, because let's throw it back to the beginning. I sent you, Kent, the verbiage to post for the show.
Yes.
And I said, hey, it's been 4.5 years. And I said, I can't believe that. I thought it's actually been 3.5. And Steph and I always talk and go, it's been 3.5 years.
Right.
And to be honest, we've probably said that for the last 1.5 years.
Clearly.
Right? Clearly. And so in putting this together, I said, I started scrolling way back in our texts. And I did it during the green room before the show with Steph and I said, watch. And I went, and I went through every text of her and I went all the way to the beginning. And it says, hi, Pete said we could do the show at this time, and this time. And I went, oh man, that's a long time ago. And that was December 7th, when was the first time we talked about a show, which means we started October 2020.
Yeah. So In the Know with Steph and Joe became a show in October of 2020. Joe was a, I guess, tester co-host or whatever you want to say from like August till October.
Yeah.
And
it was in the August,
and then
end of August.
Switched the name then and all that. Yeah.
You said, come on, let's do this. We were every other week.
Yep.
And then we said, let's go. and it was October.
Yeah. Well, because back when I was doing it by myself, it was only 30 minutes.
Right.
And then when you came on, we had extended to an hour because it was like, oh,
not
shit.
right away. Hang on, not right away.
Right.
No, we did a quick half hour.
It was a quick realization that we needed an hour.
We're running out of time to talk.
Here,
that's funny.
Let me try something real quick. This worked earlier today, so I'm going to try it. Let's see this.
Are you going to try it?
216 Creator Studios, your gateway to professional podcasting. Whether you're a seasoned podcaster or just starting, 216 Creator Studios offers state-of-the-art podcast studios designed to meet all your recording needs. From crystal clear audio quality to a comfortable creative space, we've got you covered. With fully equipped rooms, expert support, and flexible booking options, you can focus on what matters most, your content. Join us and bring your voice to life in the best environment for podcast creation. 216 Creator Studios is here to help you create something extraordinary.
That?
Oh,
sorry.
Yeah.
All right, we
There's
figured
Mom.
out the technical
There's
difficulty. Hello, Mom, and hello, Derek. Now we can see you.
There we go.
Well, your comments. We can't
Right.
see you, or can we?
But if you wanted to join, click the link.
All right.
Hello, Mojo.
Are you ready? Are you ready, Steph?
What? For the questions or for someone
I
joining?
have a question to ask you.
Okay.
All right. Okay? Looking back, there are times
I regret everything.
Yeah, I know you do, and I'm okay with I know you do, and I'm okay with that. So looking back, what's one time in the show where you still think about it and you literally LOL?
The pirate water. Like I'll never not laugh about the pirate water.
Really?
I'll never not laugh about like the reaction and scheming and in your mom coming on the show.
Mine was going to be my mom. Like
Yeah.
I still laugh out loud when my mom
I feel
came
like
on the show.
like that was really good.
And
I feel
really
like
how my mom showing up to the show
right, like it was amazing.
came to fruition.
Yeah,
I feel like some of the
Pirate water?
yes, because
That's the
like we
first
were
one?
literally talking about it in my office, right before I left to come and meet you in the green room
Uh-huh.
because we have the McHenry Chamber golf outing coming up on Wednesday.
Yeah.
So I just went and bought like stuff for the golf outing. And then there was this new seltzer that I had never had before. And I was like, oh, I've kind of seen commercials and I think I want to try this. I'm like, but what if it's pirate water? And then like I was just like dying laughing in the middle of Jewel. And like people are probably like, what is wrong with this lady? It's not even like 8:00 in the morning. And like
She's staring at pirate water.
she's like a cart full of booze. And I'm like,
She's laughing to herself. This is wonderful.
that's probably why I got ID'd. I did. I got ID'd at Jewel. I was
That'll
like,
make you feel great.
I was like,
That's your height. That's not your looks.
I was
You must be, hey, Joe, buying liquor at Jewel, they don't have a sign like a roller coaster. Must be this tall to buy booze.
They don't. Yeah. Fool me.
Says
um,
the guy who's 6'1".
I think it
5'11" and 3/4. Whatever.
I think the show, I think some of our memorable shows was like when we had our moms come on to the show, like where my mom was in studio and your mom remoted in, when we've done when we've had our spouses on the show.
I've always loved
When
the kids.
We've had the kids on the show.
Yep,
I feel like
yep.
we've had so many like great shows where we've brought so much of our personal life into our business life, into the show, because there's so many entrepreneurs out there that have to juggle all of those hats at any given time, whether it's like, and just showing them that it's possible.
Yeah.
Well, and how many times have we all been surprised with like somebody that's come onto the show and said something and you're like, oh, wow. Right?
Yeah, you guys have had some phenomenal guests over the years.
There's been like a few guests that have been on, and like whether it's either me or Joe, like I feel like our body language and our facial expressions like cannot hide any of it. Like whether we really, really like the guest or we're like, are you fucking kidding me with this? Like
I was gonna say,
like
I don't want to dwell on the negative. So is there an episode where a guest totally blew your mind in the best way?
I really liked when you brought on the former president of Restoration One. I felt like that was a really fun show.
Oh, Tom.
Yeah, and I felt like that was really informative. I really kind of liked to see the way his brain worked for somebody that was that high up in like a parent company of like a multi optioned franchise.
Totally.
So like that was cool for me.
That was the Big Fish one or something, right?
Yeah.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Correct. Yep. Yeah. Chasing those big fish.
Yep.
Yeah. I liked
love
that show.
episode.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What was one of yours?
I every time I think about this, I'm always drawn back to when you brought my mom on for the taco episode. But then after that, like, I'm like, all right, I got to think of something else. Right. We've had great people like Michelle from Clean Bee, where she's come on and we've had very in-depth conversations about things that we never thought we'd get that deep into. Right. I always think about things that are not normal business for our show, because those are where I feel I get the most value. When Eli was in this studio sitting right there and he's like talking and we had the conversation about selling cookies, right? And him starting his own cookie business or whatever. I don't know. To me, that was the most wholesome, great thing that I felt was like something that, you can do whatever you want to put stuff on the air, but those kind of things are things that like nobody really gets to listen to often or creates, right? So that was, to me, one of my favorites was when he was talking about his cookie business,
his invisible cookie business.
Yeah.
He was not a good negotiator.
He was
100%. And like that's where like
at least now, like when he graduates like college or high school,
you can play it back.
I could play it back and be like, this was your mindset before.
Okay, I'll take it.
Yeah. Like, okay, I'll take it. I'll give you 20% more cookies for less money.
Like, sounds good. I'll do it. Wait, Eli, hang on.
He's like, but you're gonna pay me in paper money.
Right. Yeah, that was it.
That's cash, bro.
Not coin money, but paper money.
Not coin money. Not that plastic money either. I don't want that BS. I have to charge you extra for that.
Yeah, I think it's also been fun when you and I have been on different sides of the coin with the topics and stuff, that like when you and I have tried or attempted to not necessarily change the person's opinion or perspective, but like go through the whole process. And like, especially it's even in the intro about, your values and your values not changing for like your whole life and whatever. So like,
so for anybody that doesn't understand and didn't watch the beginning of the show, that's part of the intro.
Yeah, I made it. It was such an iconic moment in our series that it made our intro. But it
really was.
But it's just, like when you and I are in a little bit of a debate or conversation, like I feel like it's good, because then I feel like sometimes I get into mom mode and I'm like, absolutely not. And I just try and shut it down.
Okay. So to what my wife says, I like to lawyer people. And so when you shut down, I go, hang on.
That's a good way to put it.
What?
Lawyer people. That's a good way to put it.
That's what she says. Yeah. And we just heard another terminology that you could use for it, and it was pretty good as well. But I lawyer people. And I, like when you say something and I don't agree with it, and it's not that I don't agree with it. It's that I think you're false. Meaning, I don't think it's true. I think it's inaccurate.
Or you could just say you've never heard it that way.
Nope. Here comes the lawyering. No. So it's when I hear something and I go, no, that's inaccurate. And so I have to go, no, time out. I don't agree with this. It's this, it's that, right? And then as my wife says, I like to lawyer. And when you and I get into it or have gotten into it, whether it's here on the show or in the green room, and this is going to lead into my next question. I personally have come to learn that that it may not matter what the facts are. What really matters is what you think. That's it.
That's what I was going to say. The part that I've loved the most, especially with Steph, is when her tonality changes and you're like, "Oop, here comes the bulldog."
Stepping out. All right,
here comes the business owner. And I mean, she put some people in the comments in their place, and like.
So, Kent, what have you personally learned?
Well, I look
throughout this show, right? Like, and then Steph,
I feel like Kent and I have had like a 6-year run.
Yeah. You guys have gone longer. Yeah. Well, that means you went a year longer than us.
Well, because I was on for almost 2 years, and then
doing it for 5.5 years.
But I was also a guest a lot on What's in Your Loaf and that other, what was the name of that other show that you and Stacey Verdon did in the mornings?
Oh yeah,
that business one.
So long ago.
Yeah,
I was a guest on that show. I've been a guest on some of the newer shows, like just getting them warmed up.
It's been a staple.
So Kent, personally, what have you learned over these bunch of years?
What I've learned about Steph is she's a badass bitch.
Right? Well, it's a BB.
Yeah, right. The truth of the matter is, she is a great business owner. She is a wonderful mother. I'm gonna guess a good wife. I don't, Rich and I haven't really talked about it, but
he's still alive, so I feel like it's good.
And she's got to have some sort of Italian in her because
she's short.
She's short, but it comes out when she digs her. What I've learned is when she digs her heel in, I look at a screen. I'm like, oh, I'm not going to make eye contact with her right now because I'm scared. But she,
I love that.
It's true, right? And she's phenomenal at what she does. And she's had to fight hard, being a woman, business owner. To have people respect her, right? And it might be because she's the size of a person who lives in a tree and bakes cookies, but she literally is really good at it, and she hates when people dismiss her that way.
I'm sorry, I just dismissed her that way.
Good luck.
I'm okay with it. I'll roll the dice on that one. To be honest, I'm more afraid of Rich. He's freaking thick.
Oh yeah, he's big dude. He's big.
So
I love it.
I got a question then.
Rich.
Okay, your turn?
Yes,
okay.
My turn.
Okay.
So I feel like over the years that we've known each other outside of the show and also during the show, and I feel like you and I have talked about a lot of different things, business things, personal things, like parenting things, like all of the things.
All the things.
And I feel like by doing that, like you and I have come to learn what potentially may or may not get a rise out of the other person in the middle of the show. So I feel like, did you purposely do these things, Joe? That's my question.
What things?
Say things that would get a rise out of me because
because I'm holding the ultimate for the end.
That I can't resist. Like when you say something and it's gonna get this reaction because I can't not respond.
I know.
Like I can have a pretty good poker face for like a period of time, but then you like say something and then that's it. Like Pandora's box is now open. I feel like there could have been some episodes where you did it on purpose.
I'm not gonna cry on this episode. I told you I'm not gonna cry. I may or may not understand who you are.
Shut up. Since like while I was on the hiatus, you and I had sent some show topics back and forth to each other in preparation of me coming back on the show. Correct. But obviously we're going in different directions. Do you think that you and Rob would use those show topics, or do you think that you guys just can't? That you guys aren't going to vibe the same way in that, like on those specific topics, and you guys have your own flavor that you're going to bring to the show now, or you put your own sugar in your Kool-Aid, like how
Carrie says it.
Yeah,
that's a great question.
We're live on air. Are you becoming a politician? What are we doing here?
Beautiful. That's just a great question.
Do you like that?
It's like when I get mad and I just respond "noted" in a text message. Like,
heard.
That's a great question. To be honest, we haven't discussed it fully yet. I think there'll be a transition period from when we start the show and say, kind of take because him and I have talked about topics as well, much like you and I have done in the past. And so it's not that we haven't talked about them. I think once we start to get into the shows and we discover our rhythm and what we really like and how we click, that's more where we'll feel the meld and move in the direction that really kind of.
So right now, Rob has filled in a couple of times. And he's like Joe was when he first started. Like, I want to say some things, but not sure how to say it. He's not comfortable behind the mic yet, right? And once he becomes comfortable behind the mic, that's when the magic will happen, I think.
I totally agree. Yeah. So, yeah. Yes, I don't know if anybody called it out, but yes, Mom.
Yeah,
he's a badass bitch, well raised.
Yeah, I put it up there.
Okay, just making sure.
Maybe BBB, not Better Business Bureau. It's just a badass boss bitch.
Yeah, well raised. Okay.
Triple B.
So I really think that once we start to get into it and discover what him and I have the connection, like you and I, right? You and I kind of took a little bit to get into it. We gave it a general name. Right to the show,
right?
In the Know with Steph and Joe. Well, that could be anything, and we kind of dialed it in as we went, and we really developed a rhythm. And I think that's what Rob and I'll eventually wind up doing.
Yeah.
I really think that him and I are going to have a lot of fun, and I can't wait for you to be a guest on the show.
Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously, I watch still, so
she creeps.
I creep.
You're a creep.
I creep, and sometimes I'll comment. But do you ever feel like, looking back at all the shows that we did, is there any show where you're like that you want to redo? Like where you're like, question. that was just not it.
Yep.
Which one is that?
Don't know.
Season 2. No, I'm kidding.
Because for me, it's like some of those shows that we tried to do on like work-life balance. Yep. And since it's not like a phrase that I have any belief in, and I think that people that use that phrase and say that like are just borderline lazy. And that's why they say that you need this work-life balance. So like that show, like I probably would just omit from the lineup.
But hang on.
Because I felt like I was like tense and angry that whole show.
So hang on though. Like to the point of the question before, or what we've gone over before, that was one of our better conversations where we are back and forth because you're on one side.
I'm pretty sure that show you and I kind of tag teamed against that guest we had.
Did we?
Who was the guest?
It was like that.
Okay, so it's been 4.5 years, and we've had so many shows. I really don't remember these shows.
I just because like,
what did I learn today? I don't remember every show.
I just like
Murray. No, Murray was the lending guy.
Yeah. See?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Not that I like want to take anything away from her or her profession and the things that she helps people with, because I'm sure she's great at her job.
Now I gotta rewatch.
But it's just like that whole show. Like I felt like my body was just.
You have PTSD from that show.
Well, because it was a topic that like
say yes.
I don't have PTSD, but that topic was just something that I knew was going to be a bad road for me to go down, because I don't believe in that phrase. But then also those people that do believe in the phrase, like I didn't want to necessarily go out and like offend anybody with my true opinion on it. So I censored myself more than I would normally during that show. So it was just a weird vibe for me on that show.
Okay. So
it's memorable for
more of where your physical being or your mental being were not aligned with the show flow.
Well, I just don't believe in that phrase. And I find it to be like utterly annoying.
That's fair.
So like,
okay. So the ones that I feel that like I would want to go back and redo, quote unquote, are the ones like last show, when not that I want to redo with Rob and you, right? But after you left or during, right at the end, I drew such a brain fart. Right, such a freaking brain fart.
Like I walked out, the show was over at that minute.
Hang on, yeah, well you did. However, after you left, I don't know if you watched the rest of the show.
No, because I was.
Oh, you should, because I think you said you go, yep, that was solid.
Yeah.
So it's those parts. So it's not like the whole show that I want to cut out. It's the parts of the show where sometimes you draw a brain fart. And I'm like, because we're not professional here, right? We're not scripting everything out. We don't have a teleprompter in front of us saying things, right?
Don't have a producer.
Right. I don't have earpiece. I have 0 earpieces. In fact, I'm deaf. So even if there was one in there, you'd have to crank it. But that's kind of like the parts that I feel like I would want to redo are the parts where I'm like, just can't think of anything to say. And I'm like, and then come up with something like immediately after that's, just after, and you go, man, that would have been great right there.
It's like when you were in 6th grade having an argument with somebody and you walk away, you're like, oh, I should have said that.
This was the best comeback. Exactly what I'm saying. Yes, exactly what I'm saying.
Like what? Walking up to, I'd be like, I want to do over on our argument.
I'm driving home from the show.
I'm ready now.
I'm driving home from the show and I go, ooh, that would have been great right there. Yeah, that's to me where I go, I wish I could have redone that. Other than that, no, I feel like everything we've done, you and I, we've had a blast doing. It doesn't matter if we go back and forth, because either way we walk away from this and we don't really care.
Yeah.
The rules have always been in the studio is that you have to respect the integrity of the conversation. Like that was the rules from day one when I walked in back when it was you and Pete. And I think
didn't know these rules.
Yeah. Like you can't like, if you're going to come in and we're going to talk about anything and everything, which what 21.6 has always been about.
Correct.
You have to respect the integrity of the conversation. Like could have an opinion, you could have an opinion. And as long as we're not personally attacking each other and we stick to the facts of the conversation, then there's no reason as adults that we can't walk out of this room and then go grab a beer and still be cordial and friendly. Like, I don't think that anybody has ever like said anything on the show, like any show that I've ever been on or watched on the 21.6 where I've been like wildly like offended and I've been like, oh my God, like
I 100% agree with that. If anything, we have always approached the show from the beginning of the show. So we always are kind of understanding of mindsets before we walk in.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's not like we're walking into this blind. There's been a couple shows we've walked in blind, but we're essentially on the same page.
Yeah.
The only show I've been, again, and I'm going to revert back to the show that we've talked about, is the taco show where my mom showed up. And that one I was completely blindsided by.
So one of the most interesting shows, maybe you had two of them, where like at the old studio where we like had 6 dudes and 6 women around it. We had like 9,000 people around that table with like 2 or 3 microphones.
Yeah.
You know, and
when we did like the Mings versus the Wings.
Yeah, I mean, that was a good show.
I mean, we've had so many people that have come in and out of this show. Yeah. It really has been a lot of fun to bring a lot of people in, see them. And to this is the point of, like, I think we were making earlier is bringing people in and seeing them go from very nervous in the first 5 to 10 minutes. And then we're having the greatest conversation 15, 20 minutes into it. Right. Yeah. As soon as they like lose the nerve and start talking. Right. And as a host, it's tough, right? To Rob's point, you know, he is nervous about what he says, but after like being a host for a bit, you spread your wings. We've all done it.
Since we've had so many times where we've gone live on air and we basically did like the whole show and it was like amazing in the green room. And then like when we're like on air, we're like,
what the fuck were we talking about?
Like we keep referencing this green room, and then we don't want to be like Captain Repeat, so we're not re-saying things the way that we said it in the green room. Do you think that you might learn from that and then like record some of the sessions of like you and Rob in the green room?
That's a great idea. I think we should.
Because even if it's just voice recording, it still will broadcast out.
It's funny that you bring that up because Drew and I were just talking about that this morning. Like, just putting a tape recorder in the green room, you know, a tape recorder that shows you how old I am. We'll get a tape recorder. But and call the show like, you know, Conversations from the Green Room or something. Because
007, do you have a recording?
Just talking to
I feel like just some of the stuff that's gone on in the green room over the last several years has been gold.
We've had some
been like
crazy
in
behind the
tears,
scenes
like
too.
all of us.
75% of your shows, we've always said that. At least 75. Oh, we should have recorded that.
So what's one that listeners never knew about that we never told? Right? Can you guys think of anything that was green room that we never actually said, but we lived and we did?
Well, I'm pretty sure if you look at any of the dead air after we say the words green room,
right? Like
we didn't say whatever happened. We just were like, oh shit, that was hilarious in the green room. And then dead air for about 30 seconds. And then we giggle a little bit. Nobody knows what we're talking about. Right. It like falls into the inside joke of the world. And then we continue on with the conversation and people are like, Oh yeah. That was funny.
The green room. The green room was great. Yeah, the green room.
Like,
I mean,
I feel like there was so many like spicy moments in the green room that probably would have been like hilarious to do live. And when you try and reenact it, it's just not the same authenticity, and then it's not like the same 100%. Knee-jerk reaction, so it's just not as funny when you try and redo it.
So, and to everybody, the green room represents any place we're at.
Yeah.
Before the show. Right? It could be in the studio or around the studio.
When we were at the old studio, there were several times where I had to walk down the hall to your office to go, hey man, we got like 2 minutes.
That's so true. We're sitting in Steph's office and he goes, hey guys, we got about 2 minutes before the show. And we go, oh, yep, hang on. Let's pour us another and top her off and we're on our way. And then we scuttle down on over there. And next thing we know, we're on the show and we're going, man, that was funny, wasn't it? So what are we going to talk about now?
Yeah, or Kent will walk in and be like, shut the fuck up and save it for the show. Right. Like, what are you guys doing?
I can hear you from down the hall. Joe, you're so loud. That was great content. Save it for the show.
It's not like you know, it's not like you guys are about to go on live for an hour and have to talk about this.
Just
like, you guys are supposed to be doing like little cliff notes and questions just to make sure you understand. Because I feel like there's been at least 5 shows, because Kent and I have talked about it, and after the show or something, where I've gone off air and I've been like really confused, where I'm like, I don't think that Joe and I were on the same page when we're like show topic, and then we say the show topic to each other and we're like, you and I both got like something completely different out of the topic.
100%.
And then like there's been like 5 shows where it was like my questions didn't even remotely align with your questions.
Correct. But
and
we
it
still answered them.
Well, yeah, but it looked like we were doing 2 separate shows at the same time.
Uh-huh.
Like, so I'm like,
you know, it happens.
And it's like so weird, because some of those shows we literally spent an hour and a half together in the green room before we went on, kind of like touching base on those questions. But I guess some of those questions could have applied to either way of how we interpreted the show topic.
So true.
And I'm like, oh, okay.
Okay. Not that we're gonna name names, but we've had some great guests and some doozy guests. Okay. Oh, Eric Vicencio said something.
Hey,
do we want to put that?
Let's do that. Eric.
Okay. Eric says, before we move on to this, you thought you could have a last show of Steph without me showing up? Well, surprise, nearly forgot, but I'm here now. Freaking walk in, Eric.
Right.
Yeah, click the link if you're so bold.
Let's get the party started.
There's Uncle Pete. So here's, I'm over here laughing because I just Googled. I said, what I go to Google and I say, hey, what was the best in the know with Steph and Joe show?
Come on.
And from 6 months ago, it says The Devil You Know. And then the second one is...
Oh, yeah, that show we were not on the same page.
No.
Hey, that's when we do our best work. Way to go.
The next one is from 2 years ago, Quit Quitting.
Ooh, that was a fun show. We had a great conversation on that show.
And the third, Work-Life Balance. Oh, Lord.
Oh, the joy. The joy.
Listen, maybe you're the common denominator.
That's it.
But I feel like any show that I've ever been like angry or frustrated on, like makes
the
it
one
to the
that
top.
we do great on.
Yeah, it's
because you and I get to argue and we have great conversations. But again, I'm going to reiterate: we walk away, like you said, in the end, and we go, "All right, well, good show, good show. Have a good one." Have a good one.
Even though I don't want to give him any props or kudos, like ever. Not you.
Oh, okay.
But I will say that out of all of the people that have consistently commented throughout the years, Eric's short jokes have been the funniest.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
I feel like his comments have always been.
It's because
the
he
funniest.
Cycles through them and he looks them up.
But
so
I will.
That way,
but I will say that Derek, though, is always going to be a fan favorite of mine because he's always on my side.
Derek Hartman.
Yes.
Yeah.
Shut up. He sold his scooter that I wanted.
Oh man.
It was a little rascal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to get around my neighborhood with it.
Yeah, because that seems safe.
Why wouldn't you get around your? That is the safest thing to do. I'm not on a bicycle. I'm on a little rascal. You're like tip proof.
He probably wanted to play miniature golf or something.
What? No. I want to get around. Well, we play golf in the neighborhood. Anyway, moving on. This is a real show. We're trying to finish off a real show without squirreling.
Yeah. Okay.
Too late.
Too late. All right. So squirreling. How many times have we squirreled?
Every show.
Every show.
There has not been a show that we've stayed on topic 100% of the show because either one of us gets off topic and goes down some weird rabbit hole. And then, of course, the other one's going to jump down that hole.
Follow.
Joe,
and
Joe,
then
in the last 30 years, when have you gotten through a day that you haven't squirreled?
That's not the point.
And then, or if someone says something in like the comments, like then that like steers the ship.
Hi, Mom. Yeah, I got you. I got you. Every show, I get it.
But I'm just saying, like, someone could comment anything, and then like it's gonna steer the ship into some other direction, because then you're gonna be like, oh yeah, blah blah blah. Or I mean, I know I've done it where I see somebody comment and I needed to tell them something like off air, but then since I know they're listening, I'll just tell them right then and there on air, like, oh, I'll see you on Saturday to pick up the thing. Like,
that makes for great podcasting audio. Yeah, later in life. Yeah, that's fair. All right. Last question I have. What do you hope the audience remembers about Steph?
I don't know.
In the era of Steph and the podcast.
She's got fantastic nails.
Oh, she changed.
She always has good nail game.
Always got her nail game on. Yeah. Nail game on.
What does Eric say?
Oh, Eric says,
remember that show when Steph was leaving and Joe took off his shirt? And danced. Oh, we do remember that.
No, we don't.
It lives forever on the internet.
Yeah. Listen, Eric remembers it in his dreams. It does not live forever here. No.
I don't know. I guess like on a serious note, like I would hope that let's get serious here. Like other entrepreneurs and other like people trying to juggle between like their parenting life and their work life, like that they can see that it's obtainable and they learned something from our show, going like with the dynamics of us and how I look at things from like one side, you look at things from another side. And it's very interesting how both of our spouses are like the opposite of each other. Like how like Carrie is to you as to like what I am to Rich, with the saying no first and then maybe dipping a toe. You and Rich just want to hit the gas and go and just, churn and burn and see what happens. Like, so it's just.
Hang on. You and Carrie both have your gas trigger.
Well, yeah. I mean,
yeah, because I've seen you spend. So continue on, but don't think you're innocent.
But, like I hope that people like could have learned from like some of the stories, like where like I clicked the link and I shouldn't have, and I should have known better, but I was multitasking and doing all these different things. And I had literally just had a conversation like a week prior with Eric about these stupid phishing emails. And then I clicked it and entered my password into this Excel thing, which didn't even make any sense, like looking back on it. Like, so it's just like that. Accidents happen, weird things happen, but you can recover, because we did a whole show on recovering, like from having like an embarrassing moment, whether it's personal or professional, and then you recover, like you survive. That's not your legacy, your one little blooper, unless it was like something amazing, but that's a completely different
you
thing.
Did a doozer.
Eric does say that Steph looks at things at a much shorter angle, smaller, if you will.
An acute angle, if you will. Ayo, Eric. Ayo. I would probably say that the biggest thing I learned is that not everybody has the viewpoint of myself, and some people may have the viewpoint of my wife.
I don't even know if that's like a compliment or what. How I got to take that. Like, I feel like that's a hard one. Right. Okay.
Like, listen, I have a lot more airtime that I can figure that laundry out later.
That's right.
But I don't know. I mean, I guess on a funnier note, like I hope that people can like see that it's fine to let loose and be yourself at like, especially at like these business functions or when you're out selling. Like,
set the person in a giant blow up outfit that didn't even get recognized at the McHenry Gala.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like,
and the person who takes her entire team on a color-coded, time-stamped calendar when they go places. Let go. Be yourself.
I forgot about that. I forgot about that. That was in an episode. Yes, I forgot about that.
Okay, everybody on my team loves the itineraries, and they love that everybody's color-coded and has their own color. So I don't know.
I'm going on a guy's trip tomorrow morning.
Do you want me to make you an itinerary?
And
I can make
if
one.
I were to make a color-coded itinerary for everybody, I would be kicked out of the club. I mean, hey, Ken, you go on a guy's trip, right?
Yeah,
you guys go deep woods camping, right?
Yep.
Color-coded itinerary?
There ain't nothing.
We're not going on a fun trip. We're going on a business trip where we're
matter.
doing continuing education. That's
I look
so
at them
different.
both the same.
That's right.
Clearly.
It's enrichment, whether it's personal or business.
Well, because when I first opened Steph's books and I started like my first couple weeks with the chamber, we opened, and then probably about a month later, Rich met Frank Hostica through via email, and then Rich was like, "Oh, we should try this," and by we he meant me.
Yeah.
So then he sent me to my first networking event at J&H Flowers when they first opened. So I remembered. That, and then they showed me around and whatever and all these things, but I was so buttoned up. I wore slacks and a sweater, and I didn't really drink at all. I didn't swear. I was not
very bookkeepy.
I was just not
and
my
2 years later, she's
myself.
handing me a bag of dicks in the parking lot.
But it's just I wasn't myself. And I feel once I started being myself, I was able to sell and pitch and articulate our service and our brand and our message or whatever a lot easier because it was so much more me than that other person.
Do you think
because I was so afraid?
Do you think this radio show helped you to become more yourself as we talked about things? Because I could say that it probably did help me come out and say, okay, I feel a little better about what I say, right? And not try and be so, I don't know, shelled,
gregarious.
right? I can sell as a shell, right? Well, that was weird. But I can say things and not maybe open up as much. But to me, this has given me a little more opportunity to say what I really feel, and yet still be on the same page, with talking to you or somebody that's not on the same wavelength as or don't agree with what I say, right? So I don't know.
So you guys have had a lot of fun, but you've also protected your brands very well, right? You haven't misrepresented your brands, which no.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe your business coach said, but I don't know.
All right, that's fair. That's fair.
Right.
I feel like when people when people come into my office, it's pretty I'm the same person I am on air is the same person you're gonna sit down with to go through it. And I think that as I started networking more and started meeting other entrepreneurs in different phases of their business and different men owners, women owners, couple owners, I saw how they acted and how comfortable they were. And then it made me feel more comfortable. And those were the people I kind of tended to gravitate towards to keep in my inner circle, because they're going to give me real feedback. If I sat down and I asked Kent a serious question, he's going to give me a real answer, even though he knows I might not like the answer. He will give me right. He's not going to give me the lip service of some people when you go to these events and they look all put together. They are in a suit or in business slacks, or they're in a dress, or they're this or they're that. And then you listen to them talk about their business and talk about how great it is. And you talk about all these things. And I don't know if it's just I got into the wrong industry, but that's just not the reality of being a business owner. You can't be a business owner, a spouse, a mom, a dad.
Right.
You can't be 100% on at each of those things and not have a ball drop once or twice.
Especially when you get a little bit older, Joe.
What are you talking about?
But like it's just you have all of those, like all those different things, and I feel like this show has given like us a really good platform to kind of express that and let people know, like,
and explore.
Yeah, I mean,
all of the things, right?
I feel like if you're gonna be honest about your business, like, then like let's go and like let's have a conversation. But if you're telling me it's all sunshine and roses all of the time, and that you don't get into fights with your significant other over like work schedules and soccer schedules and basketball schedules and all these different schedules of things, like, you're a liar. Right. Like, there's no way. I mean, so it's just
agreed.
So it's just like I feel like I agree.
Unless you are literally Superman.
Yeah, but I mean, like, you're gonna have a thing, and everybody has a thing, and
that holds them back.
Right, but it's fine. Like, you don't have to have like the mom guilt or the dad. I don't know if dads get that same type of guilt, but
we're wired different.
No, well.
I love that him and I both said at the same time. No. He goes, wired different. No. That was perfect timing.
But so it's just like, I don't know. So it's just like people just like, you'll survive. Your kids will survive. If your relationship is what you thought it was going into this business adventure, like, that will survive too.
I love that. If you're being supported and you support them, everything will be great.
Right. I mean, because like right now, like Rich and I completely shifted like schedules now. He's in his pool season schedule, and I'm kind of.
What color is that?
What? Shut up.
Blue.
It would be blue, but.
Freaking water, bro.
That's right.
But so like he's in that whole schedule. So that means that like Eli's about to get out of school for the summer. So that means I have all the camps and all of the activities. But then when I start to get into my busy season, ramping up for tax season, then Rich is in his slow season. So that means he takes on like getting Eli off the bus, getting Eli on the bus. He has a much more flexible work schedule. And I'm not saying that happened day one when I opened up Steph's books. This has been an ongoing thing.
It's been a work in progress.
For like 5 out of the 7 years, it was we got to figure this out.
We got to work on this.
Like, we're not stupid. Like, there's no way we can't figure this out. So it's like, I mean, now we did,
we even talked about that in like, we did a show on scheduling. We've done a show on everything.
Yeah.
Almost.
Yeah. Time blocking, scheduling, kids on summer break,
accounts receivable,
family emergencies.
We've done like employees hiring,
sales, marketing.
We've done literally
HR stuff.
Everything.
Yeah.
We might have touched on every subject.
A lot.
We've touched everything.
Yeah, we did like Dave Bungie came on and we did succession planning. Yep. So exit strategies. That was like one of our like first shows.
We've done all new stuff, like buying a business, starting a business, like franchises versus not.
Yeah.
What?
AI.
We did AI. Yeah.
So what is there really left for you and Rob to talk about?
We're two gregarious guys. We will figure it out.
That's right.
And that's where I think we'll start off with like, I think a little bit into the business side, but we'll start to move into, probably some like, outside personal stuff, just fun stuff that we want to talk about.
Well, the cool thing too, I think, will also be the different points of view. You guys are both business owners, right? Rob isn't, from what I know, right?
Right.
He's a business development specialist, right? And he helps build a business. So his angle is going to come at it from a little different perspective as well.
Correct.
Which will be neat, because I think a lot of your listeners, not every one of them is a business owner as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
I bet Joe takes his shirt off for Rob.
I bet too. Mm-hmm.
What's the over under?
Is he talking about the show that you had all the layers on and you kept taking your show off?
Or is he talking
my shirt off?
I
remember that show too. I forgot I did that. I literally kept taking your shirt off.
Or is he talking about this one?
He's talking about this one right now, and that he wants me to take my shirt off. I can bet. I don't really know what's going through his mind, but he keeps bringing it up, so I'm going with he wants me to take my shirt off.
Does this mean we're gonna see you on Wednesday, Eric, at the golf outing?
I mean, I won't be there, but all right,
I'll be there.
We just squirreled. We squirreled.
I got picked up. Somebody bowed out of one, and I got a call, and I'm like, yeah, I'll golf.
Oh, fair enough.
Rich will be there golfing.
Nice. Good.
Swing straight, Rich. Yeah.
So Rich will be there. Don't worry, Eric. This time Rich has his own balls.
Eric will be there.
He'll be fine.
Right. Squirrel. All right.
And there it went.
Okay, so we have to ask the last question. What have you learned over this show?
Over the life of this show?
It's not the last show. It's the last show. So what have you learned?
Like this show?
Yep. This show, over the life of this In the Know with Steph and Joe.
So for the last 4 years.
4.5, homie.
Hey, listen, I've seen a picture of Rich with just a championship belt. So getting him to take his shirt off now. That
ain't gonna be hard.
That was the same championship belt I used for the pro.
Yep.
Yeah. Right behind that blue flame right there.
The
whole show. What have you learned?
I've learned, I don't know. I guess I've learned that I can contain myself when I get annoyed on the show. I've learned that.
Yeah, probably.
No. I mean, I don't think you guys have seen me in like sixth gear yet.
Inflamed,
so I feel like
inflamed, if you will.
Yeah, I know. Rich always refers to me as Blanca when I get mad from Street Fighter.
There you go.
So if anybody wants a visual, like that's what I look like when I'm mad.
Challenge accepted. Finish her.
I mean, I've learned and I've actually taken a lot of nuggets from this show and a lot of different perspectives from our guests, from our producers, from you, and I've implemented those things in our business. And I feel like it's made me a better business owner and manager for it. So I was really happy with that, and that being able to talk about it in such a public forum and talk to people from all over and all different industries and get their perspectives on things, and then kind of take it and tweak it and implement it. I mean, like I'm now able to leave. Like I had to leave and handle a family situation out of state a couple months ago. And I was able to leave and I didn't have to open my laptop while I was handling that family thing, because I trusted and had things in place and my team handled it. And I didn't have that same level of like anxiety that Kent knows that I had when he first met me.
Yeah.
And the control issues and all of that. So I would say that I learned a lot and I was able to implement a lot, and it's made me better.
I have one more, but I was going to say yes. Same to that as ditto. Is I've learned so much about like little nuggets here and there from yourself, you, Kent, our guests. I have to just completely say ditto to that but I have one more. So go ahead, Kent.
Yeah, mine. The two things I got, it's the same thing. I'm curious, right? And you guys are very successful business owners, and just learning. Just the way you both approach things has helped me tremendously approach things, which is amazing. The other I learned is you ought not come on this show if you think you know it all. Because these two will be on you like a dog on a bone. Right? It's like they, you know, I know we've had a couple, you know, the people just wouldn't, you know, they just wouldn't listen to what y'all were saying, and they were like, I'm the professional, you know, and you guys chewed them up and spit them out, and I was just like, yeah.
It's a skill. It's like those pigs that find truffles.
I forget about those episodes, and when we mention ones you want to redo, I go, no, I don't want to redo those ones. Those ones we were spot on. We lawyered the shit out of them.
Big time.
So what was your last little nugget?
Okay, one thing I really learned about Steph is she hates personal interaction. So
oh my god,
show, yeah, one more. Come on, give me a hug, bitch. Yeah. Thank you. All right, that's it, y'all. We're signing off. Peace. She's so uncomfortable right now. It makes me feel good.
See, that's what I was talking about. He did shit on purpose during the show. That's why he's like, oh, that's a good question. And then dead silence because he was going to do that.
That's a great question.
That is awesome. It has been an extremely fun ride, 4.5 years. You're always welcome back. You know that you're part of the family. We'll look forward to seeing you on Two Gregarious Guys. If you need your books kept, reach out to Steph's Bookkeeping. She keeps them the best. And Peace. She doesn't have to fly under the radar. She can just walk under it.
That was a good one. Eric should have said that.
Hey, all of us here at 216 Creator Studios and In the Know with Steph and Joe, our final sign off. Thank you so much for being part of it, everybody, every Friday. But hey, come back in a couple weeks. Right. We got a new show, Two Gregarious Guys, coming in, same time slot. We'll see you.